It's bittersweet. It's the bitter part is because I feel like my son was sacrificed in order for this country to kind of wake up. I'll say that this is not the first incident of racial profiling or racial injustice. It was just reignited, and I think that it's important for us to continue the conversations in order for us to move forward in the work that we do. I think what I do now is more purposeful than what I was doing before, and I just feel like my purpose is to speak on behalf of my son. And so what better speaker than his mother and father? And so I'll talk a little bit about it tonight, but it's not something that I would have signed up for. I would not have applied for this position. I would not have trained for this position. I would not have sacrificed my son for where I am now. I would much rather have my son here. My main goal, I would say, is awareness. Sometimes you see people on social media, you see people and even interviews and on the news, and you really don't know the person. They'll pretty much get to know me this evening speaking at Clemson, and I'm excited about being here. I want to get to know more about the students and the faculty, and I was told that the president is also going to be here. But more importantly, I want to bring some of those uncomfortable conversations to the forefront, and I want to make sure that I'm talking about my journey, and I'm talking about my story and my case of what happened to my son, and that somehow they'll get a first-hand experience of a little bit of what I've been through. And so that's important to me. Trayvon was no different from any other 17-year-old kid. I mean, he was not perfect, but at the same token, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. He didn't deserve to be murdered. He didn't deserve for somebody to profile him, to follow him, to chase him, to pursue him, and to murder him. He didn't deserve that. And so that's every parent's worst nightmare, is to know that their child died in such a manner. And I just want the readers to understand that a lot of people portray the hoodie as being something that caused his death. But if you look around your campus, practically everybody has on hoodies. So do they look suspicious by the fact that they have on a hoodie? Right. Or was it because of the color of his skin? And if it's the color of his skin, then we need to talk about that. We need to discuss that. We need to have forums to try to come to terms with those uncomfortable subjects. And that's definitely one of them. And I just want your readers to just be more mindful that we are all human beings. I do about 2 every 2 to 3 weeks. So I just left Penn State yesterday. I've spoken at Harvard. I've spoken at everywhere. Just like everywhere. You probably look it up. If you put my name in, it'll tell you some of the places that I've spoken, but quite a bit in the last 2 years, about 2 to 3 every 2 weeks. I had the opportunity of going to South Africa. I've spoke at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. I've gone to London. Just everywhere. I don't know if there are documented changes, but I can certainly tell you the conversation continues. And that's important, because I can remember a few short years ago, people didn't want to have this conversation. They wanted to pretend as if profiling didn't exist, as if African Americans were not treated differently, and now we're having a conversation about it. It's on social media, it's on the news stations, it's on the cable stations, and I think people are more aware of what's going on with even the police departments and some people that aren't police officers, and so I think when you are talking about it and you're discussing it, you are closer to coming to a resolution. And so that's what I want to see happen. I want a resolution. I want people to become aware of what's going on, and I want them to know that Black lives do matter. Been to events in New York and LA and just all over the place, and it's not just African Americans. I mean, people are opening their eyes to something is wrong with the system, and people are not pretending like everything is fine anymore. We talk a lot about terrorists, and we talk a lot about the wars that go on and how a lot of Americans are being killed in foreign countries, but it's so difficult for us as Americans to talk about what's going on here in our country with just black on black crime, with African Americans being so increasingly being murdered more than counterparts of white Americans. And so it's hard for people to talk about that. It hurts to talk about it, and it's a certain part of hatred that comes in that people also don't want to talk about. And so I think it's important that we are talking about it. Even our politicians have decided that they want to get involved, and they're talking about it as well. We have gotten support from some of the athletes, some of the teams, some celebrities, some artists, some singers. We have gotten support from those people, but I also feel like people could be doing a lot more. They could be doing a lot more. They can be getting involved a lot more. They can support the causes a lot more, and because it makes a big difference if a person is standing behind you. One of the people that has been supporting our foundation for a long time is Jamie Foxx. We're about to have an event in Miami next month, and we're honoring Gina and Harry Belafonte. We're honoring Bishop Jakes and First Lady Jakes, and a young person, Aaron Johnson, who is an ambassador with the foundation. He's only 15 years old, but he is so passionate about helping out and doing what he can. And so I think they're doing what they can because it's about finances as well, and they probably don't want to lose any of their money or endorsements at the same time. And so a lot of people support the cause, but they can't always speak out about it. We were in LA attending another event, and our attorney is the one that showed us the picture of them with the hoodies on, and they spoke out against it, and they were very hurt about it. I can go down the list of names of people that kind of stood up for it. Not only them, but we've had the opportunity to meet with the New York Knicks as well, and they supported what we were trying to do through the foundation. And so it was exciting. It was good to know that they were standing up for us. I have shoes from the Pacers in one of the playoff games last year that I went to, or it might have been the year before. The Pacers played the Heat, and when they found out that I was there in a playoff game, they gave me their shoes. So I have these big, huge shoes in this storage, and I was like, Thank you. You know, so it's things like that. Yeah, it's exciting, but at the same time, you know, I don't lose focus for what I'm doing. So it's important that I stay focused.